Every day, I wake up knowing that the more people I try to save, the more enemies I will make.
Spider-Man is back with one of the most controversial movies I've seen in a while, Nick. So we're talking about the Amazing Spider-Man 2, and I just kind of want to get the black sheep out. A lot of the critics not liking this movie. Half the fans not liking this movie. The other half love the shit out of this movie. There's not too much middle ground with this movie. It's either, oh, fuck that movie, man, or, oh man, that movie was one of the greatest Spider-Man films ever made.
Seems like, directors really know how to make a first Spider-Man sequel. Hopefully this one can make a good second sequel.
That is very true. Brandon and Nick are here with a movie review of Amazing Spider-Man 2, and I'm in the camp of loving the ever-living shit out of this, and I presume by your Spider-Man 2 reference there, you are also a fan of this movie.
Indubitably.
Okay, just real quick, out of all the Spider-Men, which is your favorite, as of the movies?
Oh, so out of the 5?
Out of all 5 movies, which is your favorite?
Spider-Man 3?
Yeah, of course.
Probably this one.
This is my favorite.
With Spider-Man 2 is a close second.
Yes, it's Amazing Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man 2, Amazing Spider-Man, then 1, then
3. Way down there.
3 is below the cartoons.
Three's that kid with Down syndrome in the race who just kind of stood there the whole time.
You know what kind of really pissed me off, Nick, is I went at work last night, because I've seen this movie twice in theaters. So I went to work trying to look for Amazing Spider-Man. Did not have a single copy. DVD, Blu-ray, did not have it.
Did you look up front? Because I saw the special edition up front.
I looked up front, empty everywhere.
Ha! Should have had it on Black Friday.
I just Redboxed it, honestly. But that's beside the point. I actually really dig the Amazing Spider-Man universe they've created here. I like how they actually talk about his parents, unlike the Sam Raimi one. I do dig the spider shooters, because in this movie, they actually put those two, they actually make them useful. If he would have had the organic shooters, they would have had to do something else creative. Anyways, let me just ask you, what do you think of Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man? Because we've never really talked about the Spider-Man universe.
I think he does a pretty good job. He brings Spider-Man's sarcasm and humor into the movies pretty well.
He brings one of the most likable Spider-Men ever. And you know what I really like about this movie, Nick? Is unlike all the other Sam Raimi ones where half the time he's just like, Mary Jane, he's just trying to either win her back because he's a dick or something. He does something to piss her off, and then he runs through most of the movie trying to reconnect with her. This movie, him and Gwen Stacy, boom, they're good. Even when they're broken up in the movie, they're really kind of just flirting with each other half the time anyways. He's never moping around too much about it.
That's good. Neither one of them wanted to break up. He just felt guilty.
Yeah, he had a guilty conscience. He is the best Spider-Man.
The only problem I will say I had with him was he looked like a fucking hipster in this movie.
Sort of. Yeah,
with his geeky haircut and his...
He's supposed to look like a teenage kid. He's supposed to look young and all that. They couldn't have the Tobey Maguire comb-over hair. Because no kid today, really looks like that.
Like, his hairstyle, he looked like the singer from Panic at the Disco.
I got a kick out of the kid right out of high school still has a 5 o'clock shadow going on the whole time.
Yeah, you're one to talk.
I'm not right out of high school.
Yeah, and our friend Cameron.
Okay, alright, you're right.
He grew up in Queens, man. He's a man's man.
Yes.
Grew up
the entire movie, I was just like, you guys could have just had him shave a little bit closer. I'm just saying. And his scruffy look towards the end just makes me laugh. I'm just like, that's scruffy for him? That's not scruffy. I'm scruffy, motherfucker. Anyways, I have to say, they actually did something that Spider-Man 3 could not. And that is juggle multiple villains at once.
Oh, yeah, because they really, let's not give them equal screen time.
Yeah, no. Okay, just for people who know, if you see the trailer, you know exactly what villains are here, so if you somehow avoided the trailers, walk away. But I'm gonna say it, because this is all in the trailer. Rhino, itty bitty part, hardly in the goddamn movie. He's in the beginning for a joke. And I love what they do with Rhino. Just having him just be a villain, no real backstory to him, just some villain, and he's just an idiot.
Yeah.
He doesn't do anything special. Spider-Man's just there to kick his ass the whole time. And, honestly, he's not even Rhino majority of the film. He's hardly in it.
I'd say majority of the film as if he's actually in it.
True. He's
like 5 minutes in the beginning.
I think he has a total of like 15 minutes of screen time.
Probably.
Yeah. And then you got Harry Osborn, who, Green Goblin, but he plays most of the time as Harry Osborn. And you really gotta feel, I love what they do there, where they felt more, honestly to me, Nick, they felt more like friends than the Harry Osborn and, Tobey Maguire felt,
Yeah, for 3 movies.
Yeah, they had 3 movies to build their friendship up in that movie. This one, I felt like they were friends from old time. They just come up like, they're giving each other a hard time, and then they start talking a little bit more deep stuff, and then, the only thing I have to say is, the fall of Harry was, for me, seemed a little bit escalated.
Yeah.
They seemed to it seemed like they kind of rushed the fall of Harry. And the last villain, of course, is Electro, which I liked Electro, and I didn't, Dustin, who saw the movie with us, but he refuses to do reviews, he was really pissed off what they did with Electro.
Why? Because they made him a whiny little girl?
No, well, just how Spider-Man ends up fighting Electro, he was just sitting there like, Electro should have beat his ass. Yeah. Like, he really liked Electro. Like, he really liked him. And then when Spider-Man actually, fights Electro and, kind of punks him a couple times, that kind of got under Dustin's skin.
So I remember, just making jokes the whole time. I was like, what? Although I will say, I thought it was kind of fun. Did you notice when they're fighting at the end in the, carbines and stuff, every time Electro hits one, it makes a musical note?
Yeah.
Did you notice the song it played?
Oh, yes, I did. It's a Bitsy Spider. It made me laugh. And that's why he even makes the comment, I hate this song. And the comedy in this actually has me laughing out loud. Yeah. I saw it twice in the theater, Nick, and both times I was laughing at those same jokes. They were funny. Just him going, I'm like a little kid in there, just laughing the whole time. I
feel, the things he does and says while he's fighting are things I would say. Oh, he's trying to catch those, chemical valves, oh, no, come here, come to Papa.
I mean, when he first meets the character of Rhino before he was actually the Rhino, just knocking on his windows, just, hey, roll down the window. Just, it's just little subtle things he does. That's why he makes him my favorite, Spider-Man. And he's also not so quick to whip off his mask every 2 seconds. That was kind of a weird pet peeve I had with Tobey. With the story, however, I really dug the shit out of the story. They do a lot more personal stories with this, especially with Peter Parker and Gwen.
Oh yeah, this one, it's a lot more of a Peter story, not so much
Spider-Man. It is more Peter story, with little dabs of Spider-Man here and there, and I love it. I actually, you know what? I have to say they had 3 movies with, Mary Jane and Peter Parker in the original Sam Raimi ones. I felt so much more connection just in this one film with those two. Oh, yeah. Not to even add the first film with their connection. Those 2 characters, wow. And when Emma Stone comes out and says, I'm Peter Parker's real love, Gwen Stacy, I'm like, she is. Come on. Yeah, she is. She actually liked him back when he was a nerd, not back, not when he was, not after he became Spider-Man already. So yes, Gwen Stacy, awesome. She's an amazing character. I think, what's her face? I just said her name too.
Emma Stone.
Emma Stone does an amazing job. You can tell, because the way they interact with each other, just, it was actually one of my more favorite parts of the movie is those 2 on screen. With the villains, however, I have to say Jamie Foxx, he didn't really bring much to it. Honestly, he kind of, his character was supposed to be creepy, like a stalkerish, creepy kind of guy where he just idolizes Spider-Man so much.
He was more just kind of sad and pathetic.
Yeah, he plays it. But he doesn't play it to the point where, he plays it to the point where I have never really seen that human being in real life. Have you seen that person that just lets everybody walk over them in real life? Because that's what he was.
Yeah, can't say I have, but I know they're out there.
Yeah, they are out there, and, when he gets
the power, know why you've never seen those people?
Because I don't talk to those people.
Because no one notices them.
Yeah, true. Yes, it was one of those things where I had a hard time connecting with this character, though, Nick, where I'm just like, because when people are talking shit to him the whole time, saying, you gotta do this, like back before he's Electro, I'm just like, tell him to fuck off, dude!
Yeah, but he that's his problem,
I know.
He doesn't have any dignity left.
Yeah, he has no self-respect.
So far into the ground that he's just like, oh, okay.
I mean, for God's sakes, when they actually do a good job making, what's his face, Jamie Foxx, look like a pathetic human being. I mean, he has that really horrible comb over. He has that gap between his big buck teeth and all that.
The glasses.
The big Coke bottle glass. I mean, they make him look bad.
Bow tie, suspenders,
Yeah.
pocket protector.
Exactly, and the whole time just, excuse me, sorry. And the moment Spider-Man says hello to him, he's like, he said hello. It was a crazy thing. They don't spend a whole hell of a lot of time with him, honestly, they didn't need to. No. Honestly, they didn't need to. They introduced his character and what his character is like, and that's all they needed to. And I think that's something sometimes these superhero villain movies do, is they spend so much time to really make the villains, there. But I'm like, you know what? And just, if you want to make that villain really powerful, you keep him through a couple movies. Look what they did with Loki.
Yeah.
Like, how they used Loki and how they kept him, how he's still going. And you're just like, that is what you need to do. If you want to if you want to have a villain keep going, you keep him through many movies. And Harry, the character who played him, the kid from Chronicle, which I already forgot his name.
Dane DeHaan.
Dane DeHaan. He does great. He is great Harry because honestly, you can kind of see that kid, he plays a fucked up kid in the head really well.
Oh yeah, it's the only character I see him play.
Yeah, it's the only character. Well, I've only seen him in 2 movies so far.
I've seen him in 3, but the third one he just played some redneck inbred retard.
Oh really? I didn't see that. What movie is that around? Not important.
Yeah. I'll get back to you.
Yeah, not important. Anyways, kid in Chronicle, he kind of plays himself from Chronicle, except for when he's the Green Goblin, then he's just insane.
Yeah, a troubled kid with daddy issues.
Yeah, big daddy issues. Yeah, literally almost, you could have just said he was the kid from Chronicle, just without the Chronicle powers. So you have him, and I think he does a great job. They have a little bit, I honestly, Paul Giamatti, back to Rhino, I really think he did a good job as Rhino. Him just doing his generic Russian accent makes me giggle. I'm trying to think of, I was really amazed what they did with, what's his face? Copper? The guy who, Norman Osborn. The actor. Because he's a pretty big actor.
David
Cooper.
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 Yeah.
He's actually uncredited. But yeah, he's a big actor and he plays Norman Osborn and he's only in the movie for about 5 minutes on screen.
Which is, that's why I honestly think they were going to bring him back, because there's no way that they would get a big actor like David Cooper to do one scene.
Yeah, I know, honestly. Just to do that
one scene where you can barely see his face.
One scene where you barely see his face, and he does all this really philosophical bullshit with Harry. They're just like, there's no way they're getting, him. If they were just going to get some random fucking dude, they would pick the same guy who played as Harry's dad. Or not Harry's dad, Peter's dad. Peter's dad, who they did finally reveal the mystery of Peter's dad, which I won't get into, but honestly, I don't know how you felt. How'd you feel about that? The whole mystery online.
I felt fine.
You fine with it?
It's interesting to see them actually go into that story, because a lot of movies just kind of leave that off. And almost every Spider-Man media is just like, yeah, his parents are gone.
Yeah. Well, yeah, in the first one, they don't even mention it. The first, the original Sam Raimi one, they don't even mention his parents. They're just like, yeah, he lives left. The director is Mark Webb. Mark Webb, yeah, I know. It's like, I think they just chose him just because just went with it. The only thing he's made that's even worth mentioning besides the first one was 500 Days of Summer, which, for people who don't know, that was a romantic comedy for the most part. So he
does a lot of, music.
Yeah, he does some music, and he's a pretty small-time director, but I think he does a great job with it. I mean, there was the only thing I have to gripe about how this movie was made, and that was more their editing, was sometimes Electro, when he's actually Electro, it looked super fucking CG. The final fight with him and Spider-Man, holy crap, they had some scenes in there, I'm just like, wow, what's going on, guys? What's going on? This is a movie, though, where I would probably say, Nick, and I don't say this often, probably see it in 3D.
I would say that too. That it looked like it would be, but I feel like it was post 3D, so
it might have been, or at least IMAX, because I saw it. I saw both times non-IMAX, and for some reason, when I saw it the first time, midnight release, it sounded better than the second time I saw it, because that song you mentioned, the Itsy Bitsy Spider song that they're doing with Electro, I could hardly hear it the second time.
Well, we were at a nicer theater the first time.
Yes, very true. They had like over 7 writers on this movie, so I'm not gonna.
No one cares about the writers.
Not when there's 7 of them. When they say, like, when they give me, like, 2 writers and they're, like, plus 5 more, I'm like, Jesus Christ, guys. I understand group writing makes shit go by quick, but yeah. One more thing, do you understand the hate on this?
Not really, no.
I'm trying to think, because...
I think a lot of people are, nothing like the first Spider-Man trilogy.
I'm trying to think of, because... both Sam Raimi and the Mark Webb ones, they're both borrowing different things from the comics. Like, the Mark Webb one, or Mark Webb has the Spider Shooters, which borrows from Amazing Spider-Man, and the Sam Raimi one borrows, like, the whole...
organic shooters from Ultimate.
Well, yeah, it borrows organic ones, and it also borrows the whole, it borrows, like, how Norman Osborn gets killed. The whole his own flyer flying into him and killing him and all that. They borrow different things, but ultimately they're still in the same universe. I don't know if people just don't like it because in this universe, Oscorp is basically the big evil instead of just having a bunch of freak accidents create these villains. Like, yeah. I'm really trying to think. Honestly, people, I want you guys to answer why you guys don't like it. Actually, Dustin, our friend again, who we saw the midnight release, he had a weirdest gripe I've ever heard of, I don't really care that Spider-Man is so scrawny. It's like, Spider-Man was never a big dude. It's not like he was a big old muscular guy. Like, if this was Captain America and they had Andrew Garfield playing Captain America, I would have a problem with it. Because Captain America's not a scrawny dude.
He wants that Spider-Man with the big ass, like, 3 foot round thighs.
He wants the real overly cartoonish Spider-Man, which, you can't just accept that, the dude has superpowers. Maybe he doesn't need to be built to be able to lift a car.
Yeah, because he has superpowers.
Yeah, because he has superpowers. I don't know. I kind of wish Dustin was here because I'm just kind of griping on some of his own gripes where I'm just like, you're really just nitpicking this movie. I love the shit out of it. And you could tell that, Nick, because I saw it twice within a week in the theaters. Like, I got bored yesterday and I was like, you know what? I want to go see fucking Amazing Spider-Man again. And it was so much fun. And I have to say the ending, which I won't get into, was better the second time I saw it because, I actually was in a better theater group.
See, me, I was just, that ending put a smile on my face. It shouldn't have, but it put a smile on my face.
No, it brought tears to my eyes, is what it did.
See, it was tears of joy for me, but as for people who've seen it, as cynical as that sounds, it's only because they did it right.
Yeah, they did it perfectly. Oh my god. I love the acting in this. I don't know. Do you have any problems with this movie? Because I can't think of any.
Other than certain parts of it feeling rushed, no.
Yeah, it has, I agree. It does have a couple parts.
And, introducing the thought of other villains without any, I really hope that they bring Spider Slayer into a movie.
Oh, being that they actually mention Smythe?
Yeah, Spider Slayer, hell, even fucking Black Cat.
Yes, they mentioned both those characters, and both of them,
Yeah, and again, this movie is full of Easter eggs.
Holy shit. If you're a Spider-Man nerd, you're gonna have a blast in this movie, just going like, there's the Falcon, or Vulture, or, oh, there's Dr. Octopus things.
Or, Ravencroft Institute.
Or, yeah, Ravencroft. Or, just the sole fact, apparently what you're telling me about, you have to have, eyes like a motherfucker to see that, but, because I saw it twice and didn't see it, but then mention of Morpheus, then mentioning...
there's Morbius, and who else was it? I know they mention, Cletus.
Cletus?
Yeah, Carnage.
Oh, Carnage. Oh, yeah, Cletus.
They mentioned, in, some newspaper snippet, they mentioned that, I don't remember his last name, but he got captured and is in prison.
Well, they're going to do a Venom movie, so that might mean we get a Carnage. We'll see. Anyways, final thoughts, any final rating? Just give them the rating.
At the fucking 5.
I'm with you. 5 stars. I'm digging this year. You know what this makes me excited for? Because we've got both our superhero movies so far. I have given 5. Means Days of Future Past, that better get a 5, or it's a fuck you.
I'm even excited for Guardians.
Oh yeah, and Guardians. Yeah, we got fucking 4 of these movies.
Yeah, this is the summer of superheroes.
God,
Part 2.
Part 2. I'm so happy. Dude, the movies this year have been pretty damn good. I missed the kind of the junky, couple months, but, the months I've been going to the theater are pretty recent.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
The last 3 superhero movies I've seen have been all really good.
I want to say 3. Anyways, the Thor I didn't think was really
I
good.
like Thor.
Anyways, that is it, everybody. Let us know what your thoughts on Amazing Spider-Man 2 are. If you saw it, if this review was helpful, let us know. Let us know where you can improve, just in case we're missing something and you're like, hey guys, you should probably talk about... let us know. We'd love to know in the comments section. Otherwise, we're out.